Millions of dollars going to a local utility to service lines with lead. The State Department of Environmental Quality says CFPUA will get funding to replace lead service lines. It's one of 30 utilities in the state getting that money. The state environmental secretary says it's the first time they have a lot of money available to specifically address the issue of lead service lines. The goal is to replace every affected line in the state. Of the 30 approved applications, CFPUA received the most funding of all, over $4 million.
If you